all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights.
Life, liberty, and the
If liberty means anything at all, it means the right to tell people what they do not want to hear.
Make America great again.
The Big Mig.
Well, good morning and welcome back to the Big Mig Show. I'm your host, Lance Migliaccio, with my ride or die, George Ballantine. It's edge of the knife, tip of the spear, because, of course, it's better to be hurt by the truth than comforted with a lie. You know how we do it on this show. Thanks for tuning in. Thank you for all the support. We greatly appreciate each and every one of you. Get in the chat, enjoy the show, participate, leave us a comment. Let's push up the show into the algorithms. Of course, share the live link on your own social media. It helps grow our show. It maybe helps build your own social media. Use the short form, use the long form. We're not going to come after you. We want you guys to have massive social media followings also. So again, thanks for being here. And of course, if you'd like to sponsor the show, hit us up over at info@thebigmig.com. We're always looking for like-minded sponsors for great products for our audience. George B, what's going on?
Lance, what's up?
How are you, man?
I'm good. I'm looking at my camera. Is it fucked up? I don't even know.
No, your picture looks good to me. I don't know. I mean, for the audience,
It's messed up.
looks good on
Go
my
solo.
end.
Do your thing.
Well, listen, of course, we love our sponsors. George and I love our crypto, the Crypto Power Hour. If you didn't catch it this morning, we had a great interview with Kirk St. John's, the founder of Solum Global. That was 7 a.m., #1 crypto show on Rumble. Check it out if you're looking to get educated on new projects, trying to just understand crypto. It's the place to be. And, of course, this show every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard. Hit that follow button. But we love our gold and silver. Why? Because diversification is the answer. And, of course, this is the 62.2-gram prepper bar, perforated and very easily broken down, your choice of 3 separate denominations to fit a multitude of needs. As you can see, you can just break off a small piece to make a payment, 3 different sizes on there as I tilt the bar. Of course, doesn't matter whether it's for diversification, asset protection from inflation, economic turmoil, or in the case of the prepper bar, it's very unique utility for barter and trade. It's a perfect gift for everyone. To have a backup plan, to have some gold and silver on hand, makes a lot of sense. $40 trillion in debt. Our administration hasn't explained how they're going to fix this yet. Yeah, I know it's Donald Trump, but you got to have a plan to take care of your family just in case. Now, the prepper bars, Genesis Gold, these are exclusively mined and minted in the great US of A. They come with an assay report, so no counterfeit gold coming out of Genesis Gold Group. And of course, as always, they're selling out fast. Very low on silver. I talked to Jonathan Rose yesterday. They are getting a reorder, but they haven't arrived yet. So, and he also mentioned that there might be a silver shortage coming up here in the United States for a number of reasons. Of course, get them now. Head over to thebigmigbar.com. That's thebigmigbar.com, or you can call them at 888-526-7154, 888-526-7154. And don't forget to tell them the Big Mig Show sent you.
Yeah.
Break me off a piece of that prepper bar.
All right. Well, lots to cover today, so we're going to dig right in. The big news, of course, ceasefire.
What ceasefire?
Yeah, that's a good question, and it is concerning. Of course, Donald Trump said that this was going to be unbelievable if they didn't come to the table. All the formal channels had shut down. There were all these back channels, Pakistan and other countries trying to broker a ceasefire. It appears they were able to do so. I don't know if the Strait of Hormuz is open, but right now it doesn't really feel like there's a ceasefire. Even when they were talking about peace at the table, they directly made strikes within. Of course, Iran made strikes within right in Israel at Tel Aviv, and there's lots of other reasons to wonder. Did the people that agreed to the ceasefire, are they the people with their finger on the trigger, George? What do you think, man? There's a lot going on. You made some comments. I don't know if there's been something since this news came out. Were there more strikes? I don't know.
Well, before we get to all that, let's just go down their timeline, Lance, because I don't want to jump the gun. We got to lay it out for the people. So they said they agreed on a double ceasefire. As you can see here, This is the Pakistani, I guess the prime minister, whoever he is, talking about great humility. Please announce Islamic Republic, Iran, United States of America, along with their allies, agree to immediate ceasefire. Hence the word immediate, just immediate, right? Ceasefire, everything, including Lebanon and elsewhere, effective immediately. Once again, effective immediately. Just remember those two words. Now, Lance,
Okay.
just going by their. This is the. First of all, why would you even entertain this, President Trump? Why would he entertain this? This is their 10-point proposal. And this comes from Iran. Guarantee of non-aggression against Iran. Okay. Maintenance of Iran's control of the Strait of Hormuz. We'll work on that one. No problem. Acceptance of Iran's uranium enrichment. Acceptance as you're giving it to us and you're not going to make it anymore? What do you mean? Acceptance. No, we're not going to accept you making uranium. Lifting all primary and secondary sanctions. Okay, that's something we can go. That's workable. Ending all UN Security Council and IAEA Board of Governors resolutions against Iran. I don't even know what resolution, whatever they got, but whatever. Reparations to Iran for damages. Held to the no. Withdrawal of all U.S. combat forces from the region. Held to the no again. Right there, number 7 should be a non-starter. Shouldn't even be in there. And an end the war on all fronts, including against proxies in Lebanon. Release of blocked Iranian assets abroad. I don't know about that. Commitments to be formalized in a binding UN Security Council resolution. Turn agreements into international legal obligations. Me personally, if I was president, I wouldn't agree to the ceasefire with this. I would have just went through it, take out their freaking infrastructure. Because Iran plays games. They're known to do this. Right now, believe it or not, they're stocking up on any weapons, whoever's going to funnel it to them, whether it's going to come on ships. Are we every ship that comes back into Iran, are we searching them? Is anybody searching them? You know they're going to try to stock up on stuff. They got tunnels over there in Iran going to other places. I mean, you think it's feasible? I don't. I'm not buying it. Right? So would you start off, Lance, like that if you were president?
I mean, I would have gotten to number 3 and said hell to the no. Acceptance of Iran's uranium enrichment. I mean, uranium enrichment is done to create nuclear weapons. That's what supposedly this, kinetic event was all about, that they were supposed to discontinue their nuclear program. Look, if this is what the 10-point agreement proposal that Donald Trump agreed to, then hell to the no. I would have never got past number 3. I don't know about them controlling the Strait of Hormuz because you've seen how dangerous that is.
Lance,
geographic proximity.
He didn't agree to this 10-point proposal. It's just they put this as a, they're all put whatever they want to get a 2-week ceasefire.
But why would you even agree to a ceasefire when you know there's multiple terms in there that are unacceptable to the safety and security of the United States and safety and security of the region? Of course, even control of the Strait of Hormuz, we've seen how damaging that is. And yeah, they're in proximity, but they're not the only country that has access. Of course, because of the nature of it, they've got a coastline that controls the Strait of Hormuz. Donald Trump, many times said, I'm not going to let them control it. It seems like there's multiple points in here that there's no reason that a ceasefire should have ever been put in place. Well, I'm not trying to call for World War III, George, but this just seems like a non-starter to me. Let me say that.
Yeah, it's not going to be World War III anyway. But maybe the only thing, things I can think of is, all right, we're not in administration. We're not privy to everything that's going on. Maybe it's just they had talks, and maybe the Iranians like, look, let us put this in there to make us look at least somewhat good to our citizens. Who knows? But I know Trump will not allow them to keep enriching uranium. I know that's definitely not even negotiable. No, it's gone. We're taking the stuff and the story. But who knows? I mean, anything's possible. But notice the fact, okay, this went into effect, last night? And even last night, after this agreement and stuff, even Iran fired some missiles into Israel. I was like, what the hell's going on? And Israel launched a large attack against Iran-backed Hezbollah in Lebanon. Now, it did say including Lebanon, right? I mean, we read that. but there's more. I mean, nothing makes sense here. Nothing at all. And I don't know. You have a ceasefire. Iran still fired some missiles at Israel last night. They said, oh, it could take some time for the people to hear it and get to them. Come on, what? If that's the case, then whoever's making this deal doesn't have any control over what's going on. Because all you got to do is you make a deal. You're that high up. All you got to do is call into Iran. We have a deal. End everything. Military commanders call whatever their people, whoever's hunkering down, end all firing of missiles. But that's not the case. But even Israel played a role. They started bombing the shit out of Lebanon. And then Netanyahu says the ceasefire does not include Lebanon. So this is why something doesn't make sense, Lance. One says one thing, the other says the other.
Let's play the clip.
Crazy.
By the Iranians, having to do with the fundamental commitment to guaranteeing a non-aggression pact with the regime, and additionally Iran's control over the Strait of Hormuz, accepting that Iran can enrich uranium. It appears that point is now void following the president's post on Truth Social, and the removal of primary and secondary sanctions on Iran. Down a little bit further on the list is a broader ceasefire, including Israel's conflict with Hezbollah in Lebanon. But we can report right now that the Israelis have just launched a series of airstrikes across Beirut. The IDF is describing this as the largest attack against Hezbollah since this operation began. Overnight, Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu agreeing with President Trump in a post on X, saying Israel also supports the U.S. effort to ensure that Iran no longer poses a nuclear missile and terror threat to America, Israel, Iran's Arab neighbors, and the world. The two-week ceasefire does not include Lebanon. That, according to Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. I do want to show you some video here from the Iranian capital of Tehran, where
Now, Netanyahu said she supports Trump's decision, all this. Well, Trump agreed to that. They agreed to that ceasefire, no more going into Lebanon and stuff, but yet old BB, Benjamin Netanyahu, is going to do what he wants to do. Because that's the kind of scumbag he is.
He framed that statement, though. It's the way that he talked about nuclear weapons, but he didn't really frame his statement that he was completely in on the ceasefire, and the fact that Trump agreed to not, making Lebanon an exception. But that's what Netanyahu does. He always frames things in a way. You have to listen to his words really closely. It's a strategy. But of course, Iran begged for a ceasefire. At least that's what our administration is saying, including Pete Hegseth. But at the end of the day, it doesn't seem like that's what's going on so far, at least based on this. And of course, we're talking about 17 missiles and drones on attack by Iran on the United Arab Emirates. They just decided to just fire off a bunch of missiles last minute, a bunch of drones. I wonder what old Pete Hegseth and Donald Trump are thinking about that, because that's supposed to be one of our strongest allies in the region. And Iran just attacked them.
I can tell you this, Netanyahu does not want to have this ceasefire. He wants to continue on. I mean, I get it, but I don't know if I would agree to the ceasefire. I would have just finished it off, get it done and get it over with. Boom. Because now, you're waiting 2 weeks, you're giving them a chance to, Iran to supply up, get their shit together, whatever it is.
And you're giving a chance for Congress to bitch and moan some more.
Yeah, well, they're on vacation, but...
Yeah, but they're still bitching and moaning on social media. They just haven't stopped.
That's what they do. Hegseth said Iran begged for the ceasefire. I got the clip, and there's more to go. There's a lot more shit going on.
President Trump made history. From the strike that took out Qasem Soleimani, to tearing up the disastrous Obama-Iran deal, to the precision campaign that obliterated Iran's nuclear sites in Operation Midnight Hammer, to the decisive military victory we just achieved in Operation Epic Fury. No other president has shown the courage and resolve of this commander-in-chief. President Trump forged this moment. Iran begged for this ceasefire, and we all know it. As the President truth this morning, a big day for world peace. Iran wants it to happen. They've had enough.
Not so fast, because now this morning you got the Prime Minister Shabazz Pakistan saying there's reports coming in that the ceasefire is being violated already. I mean, we already know by who. Israel's already been bombing Lebanon all morning, or last night, or morning, whatever. That's one. Iran did fire some missiles last night to Israel, but then after, those, not a lot, it stopped. I mean, but I don't know.
What about the attacks on the United Arab Emirates by Iran? How do they justify that when they're supposedly part of the ceasefire?
That happened today too, right? Or last night?
Yeah.
That's
35
right.
drones and 17 missiles right into United Arab Emirates. If I was United Arab Emirates, I would immediately start attacking Iran. I would directly go right after them. But that's the point. We're hearing the words of ceasefire, but the actions, again, maybe the people in Iran that made the ceasefire agreement aren't the same people that have the finger on the trigger. Listen, and Trump said it best that, of course, the Iranians are very good bullshit artists. That's why for 47 years, they've been bullshitting other presidents. And he's right. This is a standard operating procedure for Iran. But again, I'm blaming the administration. Maybe saber rattling isn't enough. And I'm not saying we haven't gone beyond that. But I don't know who agreed to the ceasefire. But whoever did doesn't seem to be the person that can actually pull the trigger. Let's play this clip from Donald Trump.
I'm not even sure they have any mines there, by the way. I'm not sure. I'm personally, they say there might be 8. I don't know. I think there might be none because they're very good bullshit artists. That's why for 47 years they've been bullshitting other presidents and they haven't done the job. And people are living in hell. You live in that country, they're living in hell. No, I think that 47 years of this stuff is long enough. They're at the weakest point they've ever been. They have no Navy, they have no Air Force, they have no anti-aircraft weaponry, they have no radar, they have no communication. In fact, the biggest problem we have in our negotiation is that they can't communicate. I said to Steve, what are they saying? Sir, they can't communicate. They have no method of communication. So we're communicating like they used to communicate 2,000 years ago with children, bringing a note back and forth. They have no communication.
No communication.
I'm not sure I'm buying that.
Yeah,
one satellite link up would allow them to communicate. I don't know. It could be a strategy. This is interesting. This you found here, George. Tell me about this U.S. general.
This is pretty cool. He's talking about, on the Iran war. He's like, talking about the boys over there. He goes, they consumed more than 950,000 gallons of coffee. Dang!
Who did?
The soldiers. Yeah, over there.
Okay. Yeah.
2 million energy drinks, and he goes, and a lot of nicotine. But I'm not saying we have a problem, he goes. That's pretty funny. I gotta play the clip. You gotta hear it. I think it's funny.
Along the way, we consume more than 6 million meals, and by my estimate, more than 950,000 gallons of coffee, 2 million energy drinks, and a lot of nicotine, but I am not saying that we have a problem. I've laid out the statistics, but it does not truly capture the nature of combat. This is gritty and unforgiving business.
That's funny as shit.
Yeah. It's a lot. That's a lot of energy right there.
You know what? I wouldn't think that much nicotine that there's that much nicotine rolling around with the military.
I think what's become really common in the military, because I was looking at an article about consumption.
Nicotine pouches?
Yeah, it's the pouches.
Uh-huh. Got one of them.
Yeah, the pouches have become really popular. Of course, I use nicotine and caffeine considerably, as you know.
Oh, I know. Trust me, I know. I think our audience knows.
I think they do too. All right. Well, guys, hit that thumbs up, comment, subscribe. George will always put those little graphics up. But when that happens, hit the follow button.
Yeah.
And make sure when we go on the break, when we finally do take a break, make sure you guys hit the follow button over on the Crypto Power Hour also. We can use all the support. George, do you want to talk about DeSantis or do you want to wait till after the break? What do you want to do, bro?
No, Lance, we're only 20 minutes in, bro. What do you want to go to break so fast? All the other days you want to keep talking. Now you want to go on break early? I
don't want to go on break early. You know me. I'll run right through.
Hold on. He didn't have his nicotine or his other coffee this morning.
Well, I did the radio show, so maybe I'm in a different mode.
Hold on.
Let's talk about
Real Rat Dog recommendations on pouches. Yeah, don't do it. There you go.
She might be right. Who knows? I take
what? No. What do you mean right? She's asking for recommendations. I'm saying don't. Don't even use it.
Recommendation: don't use the pouches.
No.
Oh, okay. I misinterpreted that. Okay.
I know.
Talk about DeSantis, George. What we got going on with him?
I mean, listen, Florida's doing some shit over there. I got to give it to him. Florida, I mean, they voted on the bill and he just signed it. He signed the bill. Listen to this, people. Banning Sharia law and designating domestic terror groups. Maybe Florida should just become its own country. Fuck it.
Yeah.
What do you think? I don't know.
Well, look, this law is going to allow state officials to label domestic terrorist organization, of course, with felonies for support, funding cuts for linked schools, and expulsions for promoting students at public colleges. I think it's a good shield against extremism, and I think that's something we do have to be aware of. We've seen the extremism happening in other countries in the United States. I think it's a good move, and I'll give DeSantis credit where credit's due. Let's play the clip. Not much to that clip.
Yeah, I didn't know. I just got
laughing because he signed it. I'm laughing because, of course, the audience, that's just DeSantis signing the bill, of course, putting it into law in Florida. Another reason to maybe move to Florida. George wants to get there as fast as possible, and I don't blame him. I'm actually jealous that he'll get there before I will, most likely. Okay, let's talk about acting AG Todd Blanche. First of all, I'm gonna preemptively strike. I'm not a fan for a number of reasons. A lot of people have talked about his participation.
Todd?
Yeah, his participation.
You know what, Lance, though?
J6ers cases. Well, let me finish.
Hold on, just give you something so you can add to it.
I'm not.
Let me just give you the statement you could add to your thing.
Sure, go ahead.
He's acting AG and he's done more in a week than Body has done in all year. Go ahead.
Well, and I have to say that's most likely correct. He probably knows where the buttons. I'm just not sure I can trust him. He's going to have to earn that trust. Trust is earned, not given. Especially on this show, you guys know we don't care what your political belief allegedly is. We're going to just put the news out the way it's supposed to be put out for the truth and let the chips fall where they may. You guys decide. That's what it's about, truth-telling show. We go after both sides of the aisle. In the case of Todd Blanche, he's historically been involved in lots of stuff. I don't like his involvement with the J6, and a lot of people said he was the problem in the J6 prosecutions. Does that mean that he participated in destroying evidence and when it came to exculpatory evidence and other things? I don't know. I'll give him some time to see what he does. In the meantime, I'm not a fan. And of course, if he's done more than Pam Bondi, it doesn't take much to do that. Let's play the clip.
Every day, Department of Justice investigators and prosecutors work to punish those who commit fraud. For example, just this week, and it's only Tuesday, a criminal defendant was sentenced and the department obtained 2 additional guilty pleas in matters totaling over $500 million in healthcare and COVID fraud. If you think about that, just since yesterday, we had a guilty plea in a $160 million healthcare enrollment fraud scheme and a sentencing in a $100 million COVID-19 fraud and a guilty plea in a $160 million healthcare fraud scheme as well. Each of these cases represents countless hours of dedication from the prosecutors and the federal agents and local law enforcement who work them. The Department of Justice is holding criminals accountable for stealing over $500 million from taxpayers. And across our U.S. attorney's offices all over this country, we currently have over 8,000 fraud matters underway. Unfortunately, as you've heard a lot about recently, because it's true, these cases represent a fraction of the fraud ripping off our country every day. Thanks to the leadership of President Trump, this department, working closely with the task force to eliminate fraud, is supercharging efforts to take down every fraudster and bring them to justice.
What do you say this is a fraction of what the fraud is? If it's a fraction of fraud, how come we got less than a fraction of the arrests, man? Where's all the arrests? Where's all the fraud being stopped? Is that much fraud?
I thought Minnesota was going to have a lot of arrests. I haven't seen.
I haven't seen the people from the Leering Center get arrested yet. Has anybody from the seen people from the Leering Center get arrested? Anybody? Yeah. They keep going back. Oh, they arrested people before and got convictions.
Okay. They always want to talk about the stuff they did in the past. I'm looking for current arrests. Let's look at Doge, George. We were told there was going to be all these arrests for all the fraud and theft, the 14 magic money computers and the misappropriation of funds, and all these people that got money from Doge, that got money from USAID. Has anybody in our audience seen any arrests at all related to the Doge exposure by Elon Musk and the rest of the team? I haven't. Chelsea Clinton's still living in her $11 million mansion, but nobody can figure out why she was given $84 million by USAID. I haven't heard George Soros or Alexander Soros get arrested. They got money in for 64 different NGOs from USAID. Here's a guy who's trying to actively destroy the country from within. He's still floating around, doing whatever he wants. I don't know. It's disappointing, but I don't know. Maybe Blanche will fix some of it. But of course, he's not going to have much time. I assume that they're going to try to put somebody else in there. But I'm not in love with the pick so far.
I forgot to say something, Lance, on Iran and with the ceasefire.
Oh, George, you got plenty of time. Go ahead.
I just thought of it. So you know who's really upset is Mark Levin and Laura Loomer. They're like losing their shit.
Oh, are they?
Oh yeah, Levin on his show was like, I can't believe it, man. I can't stand his voice. Yeah, they're bitching and crying.
Incredible that anybody pays any attention to him. I find him extremely irritating and abrasive. You're right. His voice is like sandpaper or fingernails on a chalkboard. And Loomer, she's in full meltdown. I mean, the battle between her and Roger Stone just continues to heat up. She claimed that they're no longer friends. I don't think he cared from the very beginning, but that is turning into a nasty, nasty interaction online. But she continues to nonstop talk about herself, which to me is always irritating when somebody keeps pontificating on how incredible they are. I think you got to let your actions speak for themselves, but she just continues. She's claiming that the Soleimani relatives that got arrested, that she was the person that accomplished that. It was her single-handedly. I don't know if there's any truth in that.
I mean, you know what? Though, not for nothing. Those kids were what, the nieces?
Yeah.
I mean, is it really their fault that their uncle's a fucking bad guy? I mean, if you really think about it, should those kids really get punished? If they're up to nefarious stuff or doing stuff for their uncle behind the scenes, by all means, get them the fuck out. But you can't hold. I don't think you could hold kids, accountable for their parents' actions.
I think it's a valid argument, George. I think at the end of the day, how many extended relatives are there of people that committed very nefarious crimes or situations all around the globe, and who knows how many of them are living here in the U.S. I think if they were involved in operations now, or if they were doing something, then it's justified. But you're right. I mean, look, you can't be held responsible for somebody else's actions, I don't think, unless you participate. No. Well, kind of a good thing. I don't know this guy, Clayton Fuller. George, do you know much about him?
Not really. I know Trump, I think endorsed him and said, get out to vote. So, yeah, it's Clayton Fuller. He won Georgia's special election. It was an MTG seat. And MTG is fucking not happy right now. She thought a Democrat's going to win and this and that, Well,
and she gets to ride off into the sunset with millions and millions of dollars made in insider trading. Interesting enough that she went from being not very financially well off to being worth, I think, $25 or $35 million now.
Here's my question.
Another insider trader that's never paid any of the consequences, regardless of what her policies were, her belief systems in Congress. But, again, she gets to retire with lots of money, and I guess she's already been offered some positions in some media.
Who cares? Only because they're giving her position because she's trashing Trump. That's the only reason. If she wasn't trashing Trump, they wouldn't give her shit. But here you just had a special election, right? So now come November, they're going to have to run again.
Yeah.
Which is stupid. It really is. It's definitely a waste of time and money.
Although she pulled out early because I think she was concerned that she might end up being under attack. She probably feels like the midterms are going to be lost, and she probably wondered what the consequences would be for her behavior. Who knows?
Who cares?
All right.
She can go kick rocks.
We're going to take a short break. Stay tuned. Do not go anywhere. Do not make George come and look for you. You know he will. While you're on the break, the homework, pick the live link, share it far and wide. Melody continues to exceed everybody. She is constantly sharing our live link, and thank you so much, Melody, for doing that. But for the rest of you guys, let's have a big output today. Live link, share it far and wide. Get in the comments. Leave us a comment if you love the show. If you're a new follower, get in the chat. If you're a new subscriber, the paid subscription for $5 a month, thank you so very much. You guys have been helping us grow that very rapidly. So we'll be right back. When we come back, we'll be talking about far left judges like we like to do on the show. Another one. Can't stand it. Stay tuned.
Wait a minute. All right, I'm gonna do it when we get back.
Are you ready to stand up for your community and support your local sheriff? Join the Constitutional Sheriffs and Peace Officers Association and become a vital member of the Sheriff's Citizens Posse. At CSPOA.org, we empower citizens like you through weekly webinars, arming you with the knowledge to back your constitutional county sheriff. Together, we can uphold our Constitution and ensure liberty and justice for all. Your community needs you now more than ever. Visit CSPOA.org and join the Sheriff's Citizens Posse today. Make a difference. Stand for freedom. That's CSPOA.org. Your country, your fight, your future.
What if you could predict your financial future? And what if you could trade on it? Introducing Block Trust IRA, the future in your hands. An astonishing 88,000 millionaires were created last year from the Bitcoin boom, and you could be next. Block Trust IRA is the only crypto management firm powered by AI-driven strategies, ranked #1 in the world by Bitcoin Magazine. The Block Trust IRA platform is built for everyone, from first-time buyers to seasoned investors. Predictive AI technology that was once only reserved for insiders and elites is now available to you. It's time to leave the old buy and hold strategies behind. Your assets are protected with military-grade security, offline cold storage, and $200 million in insurance. Visit BlockTrustIRA.com to book your free consultation and ask how to claim up to $2,500 in deposit bonuses today. Bitcoin changed the game. AI changes the strategy.
Hi folks, I'm here today to introduce you to the Prepper Bar from PrepperBar.com, the most unique precious metals product we have seen in a long time. These 62-gram bars are perforated and easily broken down into your choice of 3 different sizes to fit a multitude of needs. Whether it be from asset protection from inflation, economic turmoil, or its unique utility for barter and trade, the Prepper Bar makes a perfect gift for all the precious metal lovers out there. Exclusively made here in the USA and selling out fast. Available in both gold and silver, these slim Prepper Bars fit neatly in your wallet, and their utility enables use in any situation.
Forged through rigorous training and honed by the finest instructors on Earth, these K9 units serve beside our nation's warriors as they fight to preserve what we cherish. When these warriors complete their duty, the Warrior Dog Foundation provides them with a home deserving of the service they've given us all. At our state-of-the-art kennels, they receive rehabilitation and care suitable for heroes, because that's what they are. Be a part of giving them a future today. Visit warriordogfoundation.org.
All right, welcome back to the Big Mig Show. Here we are, host Lance Migliaccio. Yours truly, George Ballantine, the Big Mig Mafia in the chat, Big Mig Army. Also, I want to thank the Steel Toe Morning Show. They just rated us. So if you get a chance, check them out. Give them a follow, a like on their stuff. Check out their show. I don't know what time he goes live. I was trying to look while we're coming to commercial break. So Steel Toe Morning Show.
Yeah, if you guys are in...
Can I borrow a steel toe boot so I can stick it up some of these Republicans' asses for not passing the Save America Act?
Exactly.
Anyway.
And if you guys are in the chat, let us know what your hours are for the audience. Let us know when you guys go live in the mornings.
Yeah, you probably will. Anyways, big shout out to one of our sponsors, because Lance and I, we always talk about crypto. We talked about it this morning, 7 a.m. on the Crypto Power, but we got the perfect solution for the people that can't watch their crypto 24/7. We're talking about BlockTrustIRA.com. They're bringing access to cryptocurrency wealth to everyday Americans. They're exclusive. Animus AI trading platform works 24/7, analyzing market data and executing advanced crypto strategies that go far beyond buy and hold. This sophisticated technology, once reserved only for Wall Street insiders, now it's available to you. And it's no surprise this system was named #1 crypto technology platform by Bitcoin Magazine out of more than 1,500 global competitors. Our clients are already seeing over 250% returns on their investments, all military grade security and up to $200 million insurance. Your wealth is fully protected. So don't wait. Visit bigmakecrypto.com today and see how you can join this financial revolution. Once again, visit bigmakecrypto.com today and you can get up to $2,500 of free crypto. QR codes right here. Take a screenshot. Links in the chat. Links under the more section in the video. It's everywhere. We got it. We got you covered. But you know who doesn't have us covered? Wisconsin. This state, I don't know what the hell's going on over there. But it used to be majority red state or red voting. Now you just have this is a far left judge. She just won the Wisconsin Supreme Court. Now the freaking Democratic majority in the Supreme Court is, I think, 5-2. So what happens now? They say, oh, you got to win the smaller elections, this and that. Yeah, you do. It starts on the local level. Yeah, okay. But now you just gave the majority to SCOTUS, so now you can have the Democrats, the liberals, get up all the law firms and all the big money they have behind them, start bringing stuff to the Supreme Court that they don't like, that's not in their favor. And guess what? They got 5 liberal justices. They'll start overturning shit. And that's another way how they get stuff done. I mean, it's not a good look. I mean,
they just keep weaponizing these judiciaries, you know?
Crazy. 5-2. That's, I mean, can we check their elections? Can we see if there's any cheating involved? Has anybody brought that up? It just doesn't seem, I don't know. Are the people in Wisconsin, did cheese get to their freaking heads or something? Like, really, what's going on? Cheese clog your freaking brains?
Maybe.
Do I need to make you like your brain like Swiss cheese, put some holes so you get some air in there and fucking let it breathe and think, right? I mean, really?
Yeah.
That's some crazy ass shit. What are we going to do, Lance?
You know,
anybody got a cheese grater?
I've said it many times. This is so complicated when it comes to the judiciary. It's one of those things that just makes me cringe. I'm not sure what to think of it, George. Frightening, really. You know, our friend, Representative Brandon Gill, he's leading the charge to kill Republican-backed Dignidad Act. It's in a foreign language to boot. I don't know exactly who's endorsing this. I didn't know much about the Dignity Act of 2025. So he's publicly opposing an immigration bill that he argues would provide amnesty for illegal aliens, even though it's being pushed by some members of the Republican Party. I guess the full name of this bill for everybody, Dignity for Immigrants While Guarding Our Nation to Ignite and Deliver the American Dream Act of 2025. Listen to the wording, deliver the American dream, dignity for illegal immigrants? I think not. I don't know. And I guess its acronym, Dignidad, is an insult on top of the policy itself. It's some kind of a Spanish acronym, I guess, George.
Well, no, bro. It means dignity in Spanish.
Oh, is that what it means?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, but still, it's this America. It's American laws. We don't put shit in fucking other foreign language. We put it in American. That was their first mistake there. But so they say that this bill goes on. Well, hold on. Let's go over Republican sponsors first. Yeah. Rep. Michael Lawler, David Vallejo, Dan Newhouse, Mike Kelly, Brian Fitzpatrick, Gabe Evans, Marlon Stutzman, Don Bacon, of course, Young Kim, Mario Diaz, Ballart, and there's a bunch of others. Well, so I haven't read the bill. I mean, I'm going to say you didn't either. They're saying it's not amnesty. I don't know. But they describe it as this would allow certain illegal aliens, I like to know what certain ones they're talking about, who have been in the U.S. for years to earn temporary legal work status after paying restitution, back taxes, and meeting other requirements. First, depends on what the term certain illegal aliens. What is certain? That could be a broad term, man. So I mean, if I know family's been here for like 20 years, and they have kids. They work. Some have like running small businesses. They do well. I wouldn't mind letting them stay here. They're contributing to our society. They're not taking from it. So, I mean, I can understand giving some kind of status and let them continue to work towards whatever, but they're saying they got to pay back restitution, back taxes. Well, how do you know what back taxes they got to pay? I'm curious to know that one. Because I know a lot of them work to get fake social.
Give them an inch, they take a mile, and that's the problem with bills in general. Nobody talks about what it's going to cost to enforce it. How do you determine who owes the back taxes? Who's making that decision? I don't know, man. It seems like every time they do something like this, it's just worse for the American public. So I'm going to say a resounding no. And of course, I trust and respect Brandon Gill. So if he's saying no, I got to say, he's one of the good ones. There's a reason he's saying no.
I mean, I don't know. So I haven't read the whole thing. Brandon Gill is trying to make a name for himself. I like Brandon Gill. He's one of the good guys. Well, we'll see. But their first mistake is naming it in Spanish word. That was just dumb. That was their downfall right there. But that's how stupid they are. These are the politicians that all of us voted for. Or some of us voted for. I don't freaking know. But, Lance, U.S. Marshals, we can't get raids on any Democrats, but they'll sure enough raid a Republican, right?
Yeah.
They raided the home of former Republican lobbyist Jim Kortovich. Former, huh? I don't know why. They're enforcing a federal court order tied to a $4 million judgment stemming from allegations of financial misconduct. I don't see them raiding the homes of.
Was it a federal civil suit, George, or a federal criminal? See, I'm confused here because, of course, this is Saudi and other business partners had won a judgment, which indicates to me it's probably a civil judgment. I'm trying to figure out why the U.S. Marshals would be raiding to collect the judgment in a civil case. Of course, these are Saudi-backed investors. So is it the U.S. Is it Jared Kushner and others pushing behind the scenes that we have to make their maybe some Saudi business partners of theirs whole? Seems odd, right?
I mean, once you have a court order and if it's in the court system and you're not paying it, it's going to trigger the bells and whistles in the computer system. It
doesn't trigger necessarily federal enforcement on a civil action, meaning that the federal courts don't necessarily create a collection arm unless it's a bankruptcy court. So if this was a civil case in a federal court, which could happen, I don't see where the U.S. Marshals should be the collection arm for it. But I'm not sure what this case is, so it's hard for me to know.
I mean, even if it's it's all right. So he's got to pay this judgment, whatever, right? But you got to send all these armed guards just for somebody that didn't pay a judgment. Is he that much of a threat? I mean, can we send Can we send some armed federal marshals to the Act Blue people? Maybe own that and do that.
Yeah,
we can. Right.
That's my point. The fact that U.S. Marshals are operating as a collection agent seems unusual, unless this was somehow linked to a criminal case, which does not appear to be that. It appears to be a civil case.
Well, the raid enforces a federal court judgment ordering him to pay $4 million plus. So it's a judgment from the federal court.
Wait a minute, but again, a federal court judgment in a civil federal court, not a criminal court, would not normally be enforced. Our agencies, the FBI, the DEA, the ATF, the U.S. Marshals, don't normally operate as a collection agent. They don't usually go in for a raid on a home, which would mean they had to have, a warrant to do this. That doesn't normally work like that in civil court. If you go to federal court and you get a civil judgment, they're going to tell you now you need to collect the judgment yourself. It doesn't mean that the court can't, affect penalties.
I don't know. Is this a civil case? Was it criminal case? I don't know. We don't
It
know.
doesn't say anything about criminal in the documentation. It's unusual.
Yeah.
Let me say that. Unusual. So let's talk about Trump. You know, Trump, if you can say a lot of things about him, and I'm not in love with everything the administration is doing. You guys know that. And if I had Donald Trump on the show, I wouldn't softball the questions. I'd ask him difficult questions. I like Donald Trump. I love his sense of humor. I have to be honest. I have an edgy New York sense of humor. George, he's I got to give him credit. He went in overdrive over the last couple of days. Why don't you take us through this, man?
Yeah, I wanted to bring this up because this is a side that, you know, they won't show you Trump, but he was funny. He was just hanging out with the kids being Trump. But it was funny. If you even watch when he was doing a speech with the Easter Bunny kept looking at him like, he's talking about the kids. And I think somebody wanted his autograph. And he's like, I could sign autographs for you tonight. He goes, you can sell them for $25,000 on eBay or $25.
I don't know if a Trump signature is worth that kind of money on eBay. I'm gonna have to look.
Then he goes to these kids. He goes, Biden would use the auto pen. I thought he just played because this shit is funny as hell.
Which is what he says about they would follow him around with this big machine. It's called an auto pen. Let's play the clip.
I could sign autographs. And then tonight you can sell them for $25,000 on eBay.
Sign mine. Sign mine.
I'll sign.
Carolina, do you want to give Grandpa your
Caroline is the only one that doesn't want my autograph. She has zero. I would say Carolina has zero interest in my autograph. Oh, that's nice. I think I'm going to sign this. That way I say, I drew it. Look, I drew it. Look what I did, everybody. Now, Biden would use the auto pen. He'd have an auto pen problem. Joe Biden, he didn't sign. He was incapable of signing his hand. So they'd follow him around with this big machine. You know what it was called? An auto pen. And he'd have the auto pen signed for him. He'd take the paper, hand it to his guys, and sign it with an auto pen, give it back. Not too good, right?
Trump is playing K1 or first grade teacher because, you know, they're not going to be teaching the right stuff in the liberal school. So he's like, let me teach them right now. This way they know.
I'd rather have that teaching agenda because, of course, it's pretty funny.
I mean, this shit is funny.
I wonder what the response was from the parents. I would have cracked up.
Hopefully, well.
Now he starts talking to these, I guess these are 5-year-olds, and he's talking about the White House renovations. You see the columns over there? We're fixing up the whole facade. Hasn't been done since 1799. So he's giving them a history lesson, a construction lesson. I'm surprised he, didn't take them over to the big hole and show them what the hole in the ground looks. I don't know. Let's play this, man. This is.
But if you listen carefully, I think he said something like, "Look at the columns; it's dirty or black on it." He said something unacceptable or something. He says you got to listen. So listen up.
You know what? It's so much fun. You see what we're doing? We're fixing up all the... How about, you see the columns over there? We're fixing up the whole facade. Hasn't been fixed since 1799. And I see spots over there. Look. They got hit by something.
He says, see the spots. But what, he says it hasn't been fixed or anything done since 1799. I know they've done work on it, so I can just see the media freaking hammering
his own version of history. It
would be funny though.
Yeah, but they're going to head towards
not looking good.
The big plan on the midterms. You know what they want to do? They want to start the whole impeachment bullshit. The dialogue online is already there. Poly market. Listen, you can't. These are arbitrage markets, and they're pretty accurate when it comes to Kelsey and Poly market. They usually are ahead of the curve. There's a lot of ways that they run their algos to figure it out. They're saying there's a 68% chance of U.S. President Trump is impeached before the end of this term. Look, that's the game plan, right? If they control the judiciary, they've weaponized it. That's one part of their plan, and the second part is to control the midterms, take back the House and the Senate. Not that they ever really didn't have the House and Senate, because it doesn't matter that we supposedly were in control. Mike Johnson's done a shitty job, as has Congress, but 68% chance. And honestly, I'm not sure that it isn't even low.
Okay. I want to help everybody out. I'm going to give you the biggest tip where you can make money on this bet.
Yeah.
Bet no, and you will win. I'm going to tell you why. Because To be impeached, it has to go through the House and Senate. House, yeah, if Democrats take control, they could impeach him, but it's not really impeachment because it did not pass through the Senate. Because the Senate, you need 2/3. Start putting the bets in now. And you can throw me a little something on the side when you win.
A little something, a little taste.
All right, a little taste, something.
All right,
I'm telling you, but that's
a little taste.
Listen to me. Yep.
Take the tip from George Ballantine at bookie.com. He's got your handle. He's giving you the upside. The street money, bookie.com. That's your new website. All right. Listen, I like to cover all kinds of news. Another rapper the Offset was shot, hospitalized in Florida. I guess he's stable, closely monitored. He was shot in Hollywood, Florida on Monday. There aren't a lot of details coming out. Variety came out with this. He's being treated for a gunshot wound and he's under observation. But nobody knows why he was shot. George, is there any additional information on this? Just that
I haven't heard nothing really. It's under like wraps, but
yeah,
you got to ask, like, are these guys that are doing well? Are they going? I know it may be tough, but stay away from the hood and stuff, man. You don't put yourself in harm's way because a lot of jealous people out there. I don't know if you belong to a certain set and there's another set out there. They don't care if you're a high profile rapper or whatever, musician, anything you are. They're gonna come after you.
It's the nature of the industry. A lot of conflict. A lot of.
I mean, look at Snoop Dogg. He had a bulletproof van. He set himself up so they added that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now he's smoking weed with Martha Stewart.
Yeah. Yeah. He had a cooking show with her for a while. It was actually hysterical. I watched a couple episodes. It kind of cracked me up.
Who'd ever thought that you'd see when he first came out as a rapper, you see him, you would never have imagined him being where he's at today. Being at the Olympics, a bunch of stuff, a lot of stuff he's doing. Smart guy, very smart man.
Himself. He ended up in movies. He really did do an amazing job. I actually interacted with him. He did a private event for some friends of mine. Got to interact with him a little bit. He's an interesting character. He's not necessarily what everybody's expecting. Although I will say he was smoking a shitload of weed at this event.
He still is.
Yeah, I've just been at the event when I was there. He was definitely high as a kite, but interesting guy. It's always complicated when you're trying to protect your children. Something as simple as, you're trying to get, deliveries, UPS and FedEx and Amazon deliveries. They all come to your house and you never think about the dangers of what you could be exposing their children. And this is a horrible story, by the way, I got to point out. It really kind of twisted me when I saw it. Athena Strand, so there's a FedEx driver who admitted to killing her on her Christmas delivery. He was with, I guess her parents are divorced. She was staying with her father. The mother had sent this gift. It was getting delivered by FedEx. So this guy, Tanner Horner, just pled guilty to capital murder. He admitted he abducted the girl. That's her in the van. So this is moments before prosecutors say she was driven to her death by the FedEx driver. And I guess he abducted her, listen to this, because he bumped into her with his van. And I assume he was worried about losing his job. He strangled her to death because she was hurt. Not really that bad. Usually not in a way, as you can see, she's standing there and she's concerned. I don't know how he got her in the van, but he kidnapped her and then he strangled her because he hit her with his van. And I guess was worried that, he didn't want anybody to know that he'd hit her because, of course, he figured he'd lose his job over it. This is horrible. Just horrible. He pled guilty, but the whole story just really kind of resonated with me in the fact that I think it's so dangerous out there and you guys got to keep your situational awareness up for your friends and your family. A delivery driver, these are strangers coming in close proximity to your house. I know you can't keep an eye on your children constantly, but this is...
Well, you can get a big protective dog and let the dog be outside with her.
Yeah.
Have a dog trained.
Having outside cameras, of course, even maybe having an air tag on your children when they're outside. And if they go out of a proximity, an alarm would come up on your phone. You might have known right away what happened. But how do you, George, everybody gets thousands of deliveries are coming into neighborhoods constantly. We've got, deliveries all over here. There's kids all around our neighborhood, a lot of kids in my neighborhood. I don't know. I mean, you just don't think like something of this is even possible. And then this guy.
Well, you know what's crazy?
Man, she wasn't hurt. He said, "Oh my God, I'll lose my job." So what's his solution? Grab her and strangle her?
I don't know. First, he said he hit the girl and he panicked and he said she was dead and he put her in a van, which has turned out to be not true because then they showed him a picture of her standing behind him in the van while he was driving because they have cameras inside the FedEx vans. I mean, he's just a evil POS. I don't want to get
I would
into
only
it.
hope they give this guy the death sentence. There's no reason to put him in prison and let taxpayers. I think this guy should get the death sentence. This is cruel and unusual what he did.
Yeah.
Horrible. Right at Christmas time. Poor little girl. This is a terrible story. So the reason I bring this up is just pay attention. You know, situational awareness. It isn't just illegal immigrants. There's dangers of just even delivery drivers around your neighborhood. So maybe make an effort. Get some cameras, maybe put proximity so you can use air tags, you know, have your children wear a bracelet or on their shoe. Maybe the alarm would have gone off. Maybe they could have stopped it if they'd seen that she had moved away from the front yard and come up on their cell phone. I don't know how they would have identified it quickly enough, but this is horrible.
So I want to go back to because some news came out.
Yeah.
So Trump says Iran has gone through a very productive regime change. So the people don't want a regime. They want to be free. You can't put it, you can say you can think it's a productive regime change because they just want to fool you, give it time, and they'll be back to their same ways. You cannot have that regime, any regime in charge. Doesn't make sense.
Especially in a regime that wants to enrich uranium.
Right. And then you have Iran said to the mediators that U.S. talks dependent on Lebanon ceasefire, warning they will continue to carry out strikes on regional countries, including Israel, if attacks on Lebanon and Iran can continue by Israel. So, some reason,
horrible.
It was doomed from the start.
I don't think so far this is going the way that I had hoped it would go. I thought they were finally going to clean up Iran once and for all. So I don't know who the regime is. You told me there's already a new Ayatollah. I don't think that was a regime change. Seems like more of the same to me. But
yeah,
I was hoping they were going to go back to Persia and be an amazing country like they were and get some leadership that would protect the people.
And here's a thing. Taiwan's opposition leader, Cheng Lu-wan, guess where she's at?
No idea.
She's in China meeting Xi Jinping. Yep. So Taiwanese people, if you vote for this lady, bet your ass it's over for you.
Selling you out. Might be selling you out.
Probably is.
All right. Well, listen, of course, we love you guys. Thanks for tuning in. You know, as always, it's greatly appreciated if you can hit that follow button. You can do the paid subscription. We're continuing to try to grow that base. You can do gifted subscriptions. It's only $5 a month. Give us a support. Help us out. Of course, all that money goes back into growing the show, and it's all part of the bigger picture here on the Big Mig Show. And let me give it to you. We got a great interview tomorrow. I'm going to pull up the calendar and just give it to you here. Give me a sec. And of course, I was on his show about a week ago. Retired Lieutenant Colonel Tony Schaefer.
We have a guest tomorrow?
Interesting guy. Yep. He's coming on tomorrow. Going to be a great interview. I'm excited for you guys. Definitely check us out. That'll be 11 a.m. Eastern Standard. And don't forget, if you didn't watch the Crypto Power Hour, great interview with Kirk St. John's. We have some bad news for him. Looks like he's going to have to cut his beard, at least based on the votes. Check out the show. It was 7 a.m., but you can watch the rerun. George, last words, man.
It's Wednesday, Lance. It's hump day. I'll give you guys hump day, whatever. It's hump day. Anybody want to meet up? Holler at a brother. See you guys later. Have a good day.
I might have to let it drop. Said gotta do it hella big, had the money back again, get like said had to do it hella big, had the money.
Are you ready to stand up for your community and support your local sheriff? Join the Constitutional Sheriffs and Peace Officers Association and become a vital member of the Sheriff's Citizens Posse. At cspoa.org, we empower citizens like you through weekly webinars, arming you with the knowledge to back your constitutional county sheriff. Together, we can uphold our Constitution and ensure liberty and justice for all. Your community needs you now more than ever. Visit CSPOA.org and join the Sheriff's Citizens Posse today. Make a difference. Stand for freedom. That's CSPOA.org. Your country, your fight, your future.
What if you could predict your financial future? And what if you could trade on it? Introducing Block Trust IRA, the future in your hands. An astonishing 88,000 millionaires were created last year from the Bitcoin boom, and you could be next. Block Trust IRA is the only crypto management firm powered by AI-driven strategies, ranked #1 in the world by Bitcoin Magazine. The Block Trust IRA platform is built for everyone, from first-time buyers to seasoned investors. Predictive AI technology that was once only reserved for insiders and elites is now available to you. It's time to leave the old buy and hold strategies behind. Your assets are protected with military-grade security, offline cold storage, and $200 million in insurance. Visit BlockTrustIRA.com to book your free consultation and ask how to claim up to $2,500 in deposit bonuses today. Bitcoin changed the game. AI changes the strategy.
Hi folks, I'm here today to introduce you to the Prepper Bar from PrepperBar.com, the most unique precious metals product we have seen in a long time. These 62-gram bars are perforated and easily broken down into your choice of 3 different sizes to fit a multitude of needs. Whether it be from asset protection from inflation, economic turmoil, or its unique utility for barter and trade, the Prepper Bar makes a perfect gift for all the precious metal lovers out there. Exclusively made here in the USA and selling out fast. Available in both gold and silver, these slim Prepper Bars fit neatly in your wallet, and their utility enables use in any situation.
Forged through rigorous training and honed by the finest instructors on Earth, these K9 units serve beside our nation's warriors as they fight to preserve what we cherish. When these warriors complete their duty, the Warrior Dog Foundation provides them with a home deserving of the service they've given us all. At our state-of-the-art kennels, they receive rehabilitation and care suitable for heroes, because that's what they are. Be a part of giving them a future today. Visit WarriorDogFoundation.org.